Hi, it's Jo, and today I'm going to be watching The Gifted Season 2, Episode 8, The Dream. It feels like it's been 2 months since the last episode, rather than 2 weeks, but I'm so glad it's here. I'm so scared for all these characters that I love so much, especially with the way it ended. So The Dream, I'm thinking that could be, we're going to see more of Andy and Lauren's dream maybe being discussed, or maybe they'll have another dream, but also it probably just means in general the dreams these characters have, the things they're hoping and wishing for, and I need to know what's happening next. Let's go. Oh. Don't show me happy. They look so happy.
There's not much competition.
God, he would be the best dad.
Just promise me we'll never be like our parents, okay?
I promise.
He planned to keep that promise. And I do believe Lorna trying to do everything she can for Dawn, but she's also taking away from her dad, which isn't a good thing to do. I don't know. There's no good scenario here. I don't like it.
Massacring 30 people does not help our cause. I thought our cause was to build a place.
I'm glad Lorna has a line.
She made a mistake, alright? She lost control.
She doesn't belong here.
It wasn't a mistake though. I know I can see Andy wanting to believe it was a mistake, but I don't think it definitely was not a mistake. Oh god, she's gonna run and get him to come with her.
If anything happens, we can get you out of there.
I love this family a lot. I may have mentioned that before.
You're hard to say no to, you know that?
Trust me. I've known that since I was 6.
Look, the world's a tinderbox and the inner circle's out there lighting matches. We have to do something.
Talking about finding out
You need to just
what they're
stop
doing.
and get a plan of
If
some
we don't
kind.
respond to this, Clue goes cold.
They need to, I guess, investigating it's fine. They need to investigate it.
Hi, I need to talk to Dr. Madeline Garber.
They don't look suspicious at all. And it's in public as well. Hopefully no one here is going to call anyone, having heard the name we struck or something.
What went wrong?
I don't know if we can trust her.
But from what you
Okay, good. So they're not just curing mutants left, right and centre for no reason.
Yes. Whatever it takes. Just want him to get better.
I don't trust the scientist woman.
What happens when they find her?
That's up to Riva.
Doesn't want to be the one to tell him. But he knows if he's got any brains. So is he going to pick up on Rebecca? He is.
What is it?
Oh god.
What did you expect?
Yeah.
That freak killed a room full of people.
The inner circle have just made everything worse. I know it wasn't their intention, but the more the actions they made, the more that sort of thing would probably happen. I do find it a bit weird when they use different actors and actresses to play teenage versions of 20-something actors, because they so obviously do not look like the same person.
But I hate him more.
I'm glad they're actually talking about her father and everything, so we really alluded to it last
See
season.
that? They're still looking for survivors.
The legacy of the inner circle so far.
Look.
I know it's the fault of the humans, but you know.
I may have found.
I don't trust her. I don't know if I'm being too untrusting, but I don't trust her one bit. Going after Rebecca is a very bad idea, guys. Just go home, please. She kills some people and hit their car.
Oh god.
Oh, I never needed to see that. Oh. Why did it have lots of blood when she killed the people in the other place? Is she gonna put it down or drop it? Yeah. He asked for a trick. He didn't specify what that trick should be. She already knows the answer. She might as well have just told her. I'm really worried he's gonna have his heart broken in this process of this. Especially if she's brought Dawn. Oh god. Is she gonna leave Dawn with him? Or ultimately take Dawn back again? I'm so untrusting. I'm red alert with this woman.
their power fed off each other. It was said they even shared their dreams. It was like they each had half of the same mind. He was trying to protect you, but he failed.
It would be better if he could control his powers rather than just taking them away.
I'm being realistic. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna shoot lasers at the whole world?
Marcus.
You set the world on fire, and now you're worried that your daughter might get burned.
It's true. I mean, I know they don't want to kill those people, but you can 100% see Marcus's point of view.
I promise we wouldn't be like our fathers.
Marcus. Lorna's taken this from him. She had her reasons, but they weren't reasons to do with him, they were her own reasons.
And I thought,
He just breaks my heart every episode.
I want that someday.
I don't even necessarily think sending Dawn away for a while is the wrong choice. It just breaks my heart that Marcus has no power in any of this. And just being a dad is in his bones, it's in his DNA, it's all he's ever wanted, and he has just been denied every opportunity for that.
It's time.
He can have like 5 more minutes. Zap her and run. I'm joking.
Older.
The Marcus. And he's on his own, so there's not even anyone there to hug him. Marcos. So I really relate to Marcos. Like, I know how important being a parent one day is to me, and the thought of that happening, someone else being in control of my right to see my child and taking it away from me, just, oh.
Better.
And I still don't trust this woman.
And I have some. You'll have to stay here under observation.
The
No.
old serum seems to be working. Can't we just use that?
The original medication was like a dam. But I suspect with all the stress you've been under this past year, it broke. We've patched up the cracks for now, but eventually, the dam will break. Again.
And then?
If we don't treat him, Reed will die.
Will he though? I don't trust you. And if, I mean, mutant powers don't tend to kill the person that's got them, so it would have to be that what the dad did made it worse. She deserves to have fun, but I feel like this is too fun and too nice. Everything's gonna go wrong at this university place.
Becca! We just need information.
Very stressed.
We know why they were there.
Probably assumed that she left because they were too evil rather than the other way. Or is she going to leave Dawn with her aunt rather than send her to a school in Switzerland?
Her father made her listen. It always makes her smile.
I hope she'll be safe here. I mean, it's got connections to Lorna, so if anyone figures out Lorna's with the inner circle or just comes looking for Lorna, they could come to her aunt and find the baby and just trying to do the right thing.
What are we gonna do with them, Zane?
Works with you two. Could be a solution for all mutants.
All mutants?
Yes. They could make it possible to permanently suppress the X gene in everyone.
Lauren is not going to want to do that.
Why would you want to do that?
Going to transform the world, Lauren.
She wants to help her dad, but she doesn't want to do that. Because they could force that on mutants. Oh my god, are they feeling each other's pain now? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is gonna go so wrong. She needed some sort of help when they got her out of that place.
Your hands move and I slit your throat.
Well, they found her. At least you know where your child is. It was your choice. I don't even think it was like a terrible choice. I just am dying for Marcos. Oh god. He didn't even have a picture before. Can I hug him, please? Oh, my heart's just broken. She just wants to help her dad. Like, does Reed even need this treatment she's working up? Or is what she's given him enough? And so she shaped it into her head thing. I'm sure it has a name, but my brain is not working. Okay, so a lot happened in that episode, as always. And where to start? So I am potentially going to, when I finish recording, just sit down and cry for Marcos for a while, because I just am heartbroken, as you may have noticed. It's just, oh man, ever since the moment Reed uttered the words she's pregnant, or whatever it was that he said down the phone to Marcos' entire life changed. All his dreams of having a child were both put at risk and were given to him. And all he's ever done is be supportive and loving to Lorna. Now, they had issues last season, you know, he fulfilled his favour thing and didn't tell her, and like I'm not saying Marcus has never ever done anything wrong, but he has genuinely just been a supporting, loving boyfriend who loved that baby from the moment it existed. You know, the first thing he said to Lorna in the car wasn't it, when they're going back, was when the baby came up, was how he couldn't wait to meet the baby. He was so excited, and sort of, are you happy? And she's kind of like, yeah, I am happy. But it was kind of, he just he didn't even consider for a moment that he could be unhappy by that news. He's just been someone that wants this baby so much, and he loves her with all of his heart. And to have Lorna turn up with Dawn just to say she was sending her to Switzerland. I mean, I'm glad she's not in Switzerland, and I'm so glad he has a picture. Like, at the very least, Lorna could have got him a picture ages ago, right? You know, she could give him a text from an undisclosed location, she could slip it under his door, she could do anything so he could have something to hold on to of his little girl. And I'm just, like I said, I think sending Dawn away was a slightly rash decision, because who's to say she's safe in that house compared to in the inner circle, or even with Marco? She's probably about as safe everywhere. But I can understand it from Lorna's point of view. I mean, to an extent, she's with the inner circle and they are bloody dangerous. They could have used Dawn against her at any point. Lorna doesn't go through with a plan. Reva would threaten Dawn in a heartbeat, as with the Frosts. As me, I'm on the fence as to whether she's genuine or not, but the others, and Reva 100%. And then you've got Rebecca. You know, if someone like her gets brought in again, she could hurt the baby. So I get Lorna not wanting her there, and she probably thinks, well, where Marcus is now, it's not very secure, it's not very safe. If Dawn's not going to be safe with the inner circle, she'll be sitting up there. But if mutual hatred is rising because of things the inner circle are doing, because, you know, the mutants are being seen to be threatening, therefore that gives all of the stupid little racist, hateful people the chance to say, see, that's we're right. See, look at that. In the same way that racists use terrorism as though that is in any way a thing to try and justify their racism nowadays. Like, it's not, it doesn't hold up, but that doesn't matter to them. I think a small town where everyone knows that that weird mutant girl, she grew up there, suddenly a baby appears, Dawn is probably going to be looked at with a lot of weird suspicion, like, oh, whose kid is that? And then if she says, oh, it's, you know, my niece's child, well, then everyone will know it's a mutant. She's a mutant, everyone will be aware of it. And if she just says, oh, the baby, like, how is she going to explain Dawn? I think it's good because rather than some school in Switzerland, you don't send babies to school, rather than some school in Switzerland, this is just a family who will love her. I mean, Lorna knows that her aunt loved her. There was a lot else that was wrong with her, how she felt was wrong with growing up, where she grew up, but she knows the love will never not be there. And I think Marcos really touched Lorna and got through to her that some school in Switzerland was not the answer, but I don't know how safe a small town is where everyone knows that a mutant grew up there, and I don't know, but we'll see. I guess that was a good way for the writers to get the baby out of the way, because it's kind of holding Lorna back a little bit from certain plots, and in general, just in any show, once someone has a baby, it's such a hassle. Most shows come up with a way to get that baby out of the picture. Then we have the Struckers, and oh, I do not trust this Doctor woman. And finding out that her brother founded the Purifiers, and so even if she doesn't have a point of view that is all mutants are disgusting and even we should hate them, she wants to create a cure for all mutants. And okay, so that guy can be all like smiley and say anyone that doesn't want their powers can have them removed. Okay, in a way, fantastic. But who's to say that they won't say, oh, you've been arrested for a crime, you're a mutant, bam, now you're not a mutant anymore. You know, it can be forced on people so easily, and I think that is something that is so wrong, and something Lauren is going to be struggling with, because all she thought she was doing was helping her dad. And when they phrased it as Reed will die if he doesn't get this treatment they're working on with Lauren is going to really struggle with, what does she do? Does she try and say no? Does she try and stop it? Because that could kill her dad, and it might never even become the thing that that guy thinks it's going to be. Or what does she do? I hope that that's going to be a dilemma for her, and we're going to see more of that in the next episode. I mean, she very clearly was horrified, but I think almost so shocked by what was happening. I hope we're going to see her discussing it with Reed and with Caitlin, because they should all be informed about exactly what this is. And I'm not entirely sure that Reed even needs this other treatment. I mean, like he said, the old treatment seems to be working just fine, so wouldn't a regular dose of that, I mean, okay, it's painful when it's administered, but other than that, if he needs this treatment, if it's definitely impossible for him to learn to control his powers, surely just giving him some doses of that so that every 6 months when it flares up he takes one would solve the problem. Even if it is just shoring up a dam, I don't know that he would need some super all-encompassing getting rid of all mutant powers thing. I think that's a very dangerous obstacle. I think there are likely scientists all over the world trying to work on a way to defeat the mutant gene, because scientists do things like that. But that was fascinating. And then we're learning a little bit more about Andreas and, oh my god, what was his name? Andrew. About the original Fenris von Strucker siblings, twins they were, weren't they? And how they were linked and they shared dreams. And Lauren, of course, and Andy are sharing dreams. And how it was as though they had one mind. And we saw Lauren, you know, getting her blood drawn, and Andy felt it. Now, if they're going to feel each other's pain, that is just oh my goodness, that adds so many more layers to it. Not only are they showing dreams, but they're showing each other's pain and feelings. Are they going to like share thoughts at some point? And are they going to be drawn together? Now, I actually think that their viewpoints are very different. Lauren would never intentionally agree to hurt an innocent person. Andy would feel a little bad about it, but would do it, I think. Like, Lauren would never join something like the Inner Circle. Andy is very content and happy there. Now, I'm not even getting into whether or not that's right or wrong, but just they are polar opposites in that sense. Now, I know Lauren says that when she used her power, the Fenris power, she enjoyed it. It was like a rush, and I think it's probably a little bit like almost like drugs, you know. It felt good, it felt like powerful and wonderful, and she could get hooked on that feeling. But that would be Lauren losing herself, that would be Lauren losing everything that makes her Lauren, and if that happened, that would just be awful and so uncomfortable to watch. And at the very most, I hope it would be a short plot line and then she would get through it and we could all support her through it. But if that was a permanent thing, that would just be terrible. But I think it's very interesting that they're expanding on this dynamic, because in season 1, the minute that Reed went to see his dad and then he was like, oh, the Strucker siblings, you know, they held hands, and then at the end of the episode, like, it cut down to Andy and Lauren holding hands, I was just like, oh my goodness, that's such an interesting plotline, and we're developing it, and I love that so much, and I'm so excited to see where it's going to go next, and terrified. I mean, I love the Strucker family, they've always been one of my absolute favourite parts of this show. Even though Reed and Caitlin and Andy aren't in my favourite character list, I still find them really fascinating characters, and I think what they bring to the show would not be the same if you just had the Struckers out, or if for me you just had Lauren in it. You know, it would just be not the show it is. And so I think Lauren is still dealing with a lot, and her way of dealing with things, which is totally understandable, has often been smile and make your family think everything's okay and just try and figure it out by yourself, try and get through it by yourself. And I hope she's going to talk to someone about this current dilemma that she's having. And I wonder if at some point Andy's going to feel some pain and Lauren's going to sense it. I mean, does Andy have any idea? I mean, like, in life you do just get weird pains and you think, oh my god, what's that sharp pain in my arm? Think nothing of it. You wouldn't think, oh, my sister's getting her blood drawn. So I just can't wait. You may have guessed, I'm so excited by that plotline. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it next. Then the other main thing this episode, we had John and Clarice. Now, they love each other, and I think that is undeniable on both sides, but right now their priorities are in different places. Last season they were in the same place. They were kind of constantly working towards a goal: free this person, free that person, stop this, do that. I think the things about the Morlocks, I said to Clarice, are driving home. Now, I don't think the Morlock, I mean, hiding in the sewers from everyone forever isn't sustainable. It's not fun. Forcibly branding anyone that doesn't look like you, like, it's just weird. I don't hate them. I think they're much better than someone like the Inner Circle, whose plans, if they go awry, kill 37 people. But I don't think that that's the solution, and I don't think Clarice necessarily thinks that she wants to go and join the Morlocks, but I think she's definitely very much aware of the hopelessness of their situation. And whereas as much as John knows their situation's hopeless, he thinks, well, even if we're at a disadvantage, it's the right thing to do. It's what's right is for us to do our best, to figure out what the Inner Circle are up to and try and preempt them. And I think they're going to need some more allies. They might even need the Morlocks to try and come up out of the sewers and help them, because if they're going to stop anything the Inner Circle want to do. And I think in general, just being able to know what the Inner Circle are doing, because if all their plan is to have a nice peaceful thing where they get some power and they're nice peacefully, or the government say, oh yes, mutants, have this period of piece of land, which has never in history caused problems, hasn't it, creating a country somewhere. Even if that can all happen magically and peace and transfer peacefully, and then all the countries are going to say, oh, everyone's at peace with the mutants, you know, there's no way that is how it's going to happen. The only way it can happen is if the mutants take it by force, and that would involve hurting a lot of innocent people most likely, and mutant supremacy to an extent in order to try and establish this. I don't think it's a bad goal, but I think it's a hard one to just magically make happen peacefully, so Riva is willing to do a lot of dark things. She obviously just didn't think they needed to do them at this stage, and it has understandably caused, well, not understandably, but again, it's given justification to all of the crazy purifier people, who I didn't miss seeing in this episode in detail. I mean, they're still wrong. It's still not actually justification, but it's given them things that they can use as reasons why they're right, even if they're not right. And it has made it harder for anyone trying to get peaceful times between the mutants, because, you know, if you think, well, any day a mutant can walk in and kill 37 people with a flick of their fingers, it would be so much easier to just blame all mutants for that rather than trying to get peace. So it's a hard one. I enjoyed Lorna being the focus of this episode, seeing flashbacks to her when she was younger, although that 13-year-old girl didn't look 13 at all. But it was really interesting to see some of Lorna's childhood and to have them. They still haven't outright named her dad, which is fine, but they've really dealt with that more and had her sort of come to terms with the fact that he didn't just ditch her and he didn't love her, that in the same way she's done it with Dawn, that he did love her and that was why he had to not be there for her, which I'm sure there were times when he could have visited or something, especially if he visited to leave her a little box with a thing, and yeah, so he maybe could have done more, but I believe Lorna when she says she's going to go back for Dawn one day, but oh, I don't know, I'm just still going to like cry for Marcos forever about this plotline because it's so unfair, you know. Everything he talks about being a parent is just in his DNA and I know what that feels like, and all my dreams of being a parent, if someone took those away from me, oh, the pain. And he's just carrying on with it, and at the end of the episode no one even knocked on his door to check on him and give him a hug, like, oh. So yeah, that was a brilliant episode. On Rebecca, what is their actual plan with Rebecca? Because the fact that Fade said, you know, move your hands and I'll slit your throat means that like he isn't going to just kill her, which I'm not pro just killing Rebecca. But do they have some kind of mutant? So the mutant suppression thing didn't work to drug her. Like, just what on earth are they going to do with Rebecca? That question has still not been answered, but I am intrigued as to see what it is. I think the best solution for Rebecca would be to go to some sort of prison-like mental institution, but one that didn't abuse its patients, and where she could feel safe maybe and start to come to terms with herself. And maybe if she genuinely is a psychopath, then I don't know. So yeah, that was such a good episode and I can't wait for the next one. It better not be another 2-week wait when I stop this and go and have a look. Like last time I was like 1 week, oh my god, it's 2. So yeah, this show is my favourite one right now. Thank you for watching.